school resumes, you will be better than someone who is out there digging or playing or watching cartoon. Yeah, there are people who are just watching cartoon. Anyway, let us go on. This is Peko Virtual School. It's English language by Peko. And here today is your teacher, Miss Nanyumbi Gloria, taking you in English for the revised curriculum, specifically for Senior 1. Hope everyone is okay. We've been looking at our topic in the previous work you've been doing. The topic we're looking at was finding information, more of doing research here and there. This time round we are starting on the new topic, and that's food. Now people are wondering, what is with English? We had topics like adjectives, pronouns, nouns. My dear friends, with the new curriculum, we are looking at problem solving in our society. Okay? Problem solving in our society. So please don't be scared when you see such topics as finding information and there isn't a lot of adjectives, pronouns, all that. We are incorporating those in the different topics we are looking at. So on such grounds, it's very important that we pay close attention and remain open-minded, because this is majorly meant to impart skills. You looked at carrying out a survey. Where were you going to find that? In the old curriculum, where you were majorly focusing on nouns, pronouns, relative clauses. In today's life, those may not really help. Actually, no one asks questions to do with, say, defining relative clauses, pronouns. No, we look at what is happening in society and how we use the English language, okay, to be part of that society, because it's where we live and our day-to-day life is happening that way. So today we are majorly going to focus on food. Now someone is wondering, food? Let us go on and see. Okay, so there we are saying our next topic to be covered is going to be food. In this chapter, you will be able to identify the food that is grown in the different areas in Uganda. Interpret recipes, passages, articles, and also apply some and any to countable and uncountable nouns. I think you can see what we are talking about. The actual topic is food, and we've said in this particular topic we are going to identify the food that is grown in the different areas of Uganda. Where would you have found that in English, for example? Interpret recipes. You see, we are now incorporating food and nutrition, biology into English, an all-round citizen who can do a lot. You can cook and be able to speak very good English. It's a beautiful curriculum altogether. So we are going to have passages still to do with food, articles still in that line, and also apply some and any. Now you see where the English is coming from. When we talk about some, we are looking at the positive aspect the way you say, I have some rice and meat. I don't have any water or food. Okay, all those are being incorporated into our topic, and that topic is food. And then there we also have the countable and uncountable nouns. Okay, see the beauty of the new curriculum? It is really beautiful. It's a beautiful thing altogether. Okay, let us continue. Our first activity is going to be, what is your understanding of the word food? Many now are wondering, anything we eat, why would you say anything you eat? So let us go on. The first question is saying, what is your understanding of the word food? Why is it important to have food? All those, we are seeing them here. Okay, all those we are seeing them here. What is your understanding of the word food? Why is it important to have food? Okay, so like I've said, when we talk about food, many people have different views. Some people will say food is anything we eat, but there is food that we don't only eat. Some people have used it as medicine without actually eating it. Are you aware of that? But it's food. Yes, but it is majorly medicinal for some people. And there we're saying, why do you think food is important? Let us look at the answers that we have. Number one is saying, the question number one, which is saying, what is your understanding of the word food? So our answer is saying, food is any nutritious substance that people or animals eat or drink, or that plants absorb in order to maintain life and growth. Okay, I'm seeing people who only thought that food is only for people and animals, but you see, plants too need food in order to grow. Okay, so I think that is one of the best definitions of the word food. And here it is saying, food is any nutritious substance that people or animals eat or drink, or that plants absorb in order to maintain life and growth. Anyone is aware that animals have to feed in order to grow, in order to sustain their life. The same goes for people. If plants need food to live, now someone is going to tell me, but which food do plants eat? The nutrients they get from the ground when they are planted, that is food to them. Okay, I hope we are clear there. And now we are also saying, why is it important to have food? Why is it important to have food? Number one, we are saying it helps in the proper functioning of the body. It helps in the proper functioning of the body. Of course, when we eat food, it gives us energy. Okay, and when you don't have energy, obviously you cannot function. Okay, you cannot function when you don't have energy. So on such grounds, we really know that food is important because it helps in the proper functioning of the body. The fact that the food you eat helps you to have energy, helps to build the body, helps in the growth of the body. Okay, this helps in the proper functioning of the body. You can imagine someone telling you, just because of poor eyesight, just poor eyesight, those are eyes that are part of our body, and someone tells you, I think you should consume more carrots. More carrots. You see, proper functioning of the body. Even if someone is sick, they don't have strength, they sometimes could tell them, please take something that is quite sugary. It will help you to gain energy. All that is food. Okay, so I hope people get it when we say it helps in the proper functioning of the body, because it provides strength. It helps in bodybuilding. Okay, I've given you an example of the carrot. The carrots, just chewing carrots and you gain better eyesight. Oh my God, food is great. 2, we've also said it also helps to repair the body and keep the immune system healthy. It also helps to repair the body and keep the immune system healthy. I think we can see that. Everyone knows, every time you keep eating, and of course you eat the right food, you're able to repair the body and keep your immune system in check. Okay, because when you're not eating well, your immune system will go down. Are you getting that? You've seen those children in areas that are infested with famine. They have marasmus, they have kwashiorkor. They don't look healthy at all. They don't look healthy because they lack what to eat. And when they get what to eat, it is majorly for survival, of which that survival is not a guarantee. So you see, it is very, very important for us to have food, because you are healthy, your immune system is boosted, and obviously you've seen that even when you become sick, they tell you, please drink enough, eat enough fruits, eat vegetables. All those will help to boost your immunity. All that we are getting it from food. Okay, so I think people can also see how food is very important when it comes to maintaining our life. The description we talked about in line with food. For you to maintain life, you must eat healthy. To have the best immune system, you must incorporate fruits, water, vegetables, and healthy foods, proteins, carbohydrates in your diet. That way you will be strong and your immune system will also be strong and healthy. Okay, that is there for importance of food and what food really means here. So we are going to have our first task. Now when we talk about tasks, these are aspects you look at later after going through the work that has been explained. Okay, number 1 is saying, explain the difference between food crops and cash crops. Now someone is laughing off, saying, only that? Beautiful. It will help us get to what we want later on. I'm so sure this is one question you made most probably in your primary SST, Now it is coming back in English. Okay, explain the difference between food crops and cash crops. Okay, what is the difference between the two? What is the difference between the two? You're going to tell us the difference between food crops and cash crops. Okay, you're going to tell us the difference between food crops and cash crops. We are also saying mention 5 food crops and 5 cash crops and where they are commonly grown in Uganda. I am so sure by now everyone can confidently tell us, because this is not a new question to you guys. Okay, 5 food crops, 5 cash crops. I'm so sure people can easily mention. On top of mentioning, please tell us the different parts of Uganda where those different crops are majorly grown. If it is, for example, potatoes, where are they commonly grown? Where do people know that when you talk about potatoes, this is the area? When you talk about rice, for example, this is the place it is known for rice. That is what is expected from you in the first task. Majorly to differentiate between food crops and cash crops. Then you go ahead to mention the 5 food crops and 5 cash crops and where they are commonly grown in Uganda. Okay, where they are commonly grown in Uganda. Now that is your first task. Still to do with food, we have a second task that we are going to look at. We have a second task that we are going to look at. The first task under task 2 is saying, do you know the different ways in which food is prepared? I bet there are people who can't even prepare drinking water, but my dear friends, now is the time for you to get into the saucepans. Be it a boy, be it a girl. Shamefully, there are girls up to senior 1. They cannot cook. Please, my dear friends, let us make it a point that we do this. So second task is saying, do you know the different ways in which food is prepared? Describe how to cook a selected food of your choice, mentioning the ingredients needed and the steps involved in its preparation. I hope we are clear there. One more time. Describe how to cook a selected food of your choice, mentioning the ingredients needed. Mentioning the ingredients needed and the steps involved in its preparation. And the steps involved in its preparation. Now here I'm so sure people have encountered a recipe at some point. Most of you are used to what you see, say, on YouTube. Okay, now here you are going to tell us, it could be your favorite meal. Say you're going to be visited by someone. What would you prepare? So you mention what you're going to prepare, what ingredients you will need, and then you also tell us the steps involved in the preparation of that meal, the steps involved in the preparation of that meal. I would really love to see what people are capable of doing when it comes to cooking. I think you can see how beautiful this curriculum is. That is task 1. Then task 2 is saying, name the types of food cooked in the ways listed in the first row of the table below. Name the types of food cooked in the ways listed in the first row of the table below. The different ways of cooking have all been mentioned. We can boil food, we can fry food, we can steam food. I hope people understand what we mean by steaming. You majorly steam, like vapor is majorly what is cooking the food. I don't know if people are even conversant with that. Please carry out some research. Okay, so we can bake, we can grill, and we can also roast. Okay, we can also roast. So there, my friends, are the different ways on how food is cooked. Now your role here is going to be to place in those columns the different foods that are boiled, those foods that you fry. Then you also mention the foods that you steam. Then you mention the foods that you bake. How about those that we grill? Okay, and then those that we roast. It will be very important first for you to identify the different words, that is boil, fry, steam, bake, grill, and roast. And what? Roast. What do they mean? Because someone can easily say, but what's the difference between grilling food and roasting food? Please find out first what all these words mean before you can outline the different foods that are cooked using those different ways. Okay, that is for week 7. Thank you very much, my dear friends. Till we meet again. Okay. So there we have Senior 1 week 8. Senior 1 week 8. Week 8. So in week 7 we introduced our topic, that is food. We introduced our topic, that is food, and there we looked at writing a recipe, the difference between food and cash crops, mentioning the different kinds of food crops and cash crops, and the different parts of Uganda where those crops are grown. We also looked at the different types of food and how they are prepared given the different kinds of preparations that were mentioned. Now this week we are starting off with grammar, still under our topic, which is food, still under our topic, which is food. So this particular week, I think now people are starting to see how we are actually incorporating grammar, English, into the topic food. Okay, so here we are saying the use of much and many. The use of much and many. And here we are saying much and many are used in the negative and interrogative sentences. I hope people understand what we mean by negative sentences. Negative sentences normally have the use of not, no, never. Okay, then interrogative sentences usually are those sentences that end with a question mark, that end with a question mark. Okay, so there we are still looking at the use of much and many, and we are saying many and much are used in the negative and interrogative sentences and interrogative sentences. And here we are saying the difference between them is that now we are looking at when do we use much and when do we use many. The difference between them is that, okay, I hope people understand when we talk about this. The difference between them is that much is used before uncountable nouns in the plural form. Much is used before uncountable nouns in the plural form. Examples: we have money, energy, time, ink. Okay, before uncountable nouns. For example, you can say, I have much time on me, I'll be able to go to town. You can't say I have many time. That is very wrong. You can say you have much money, can you please lend him some? You cannot say you have many money. Okay, and we've said much is used before uncountable nouns in the plural form. Uncountable nouns in the plural form. You cannot count energy, you cannot count time, you cannot count ink. Unless it is in a bottle, you will still say, I've got 3 bottles of ink, but you can't say I have 3 ink. Okay, so you'll say I have much ink, not many ink. I hope we are now starting to differentiate between much and many. For much, we've said it is used with uncountable nouns. It is used with uncountable nouns. Okay, there we have many. Many, on the other hand, is used before countable nouns in the plural form. Many, on the other hand, is used before countable nouns in the plural form. Examples: we have friends. I've got many friends. I have many cars. Davidie has many books. Kato has traveled to many countries. Many, therefore, is used before countable nouns in the plural form. I hope people now understand the difference between much and many. Much is used with uncountable nouns, while many is used with countable nouns. You can't say I have many money, I have many ink. That is so wrong. Okay, that is so wrong. So now that people can differentiate between much and many, before you there, you have a task. where you're supposed to use much and many in the sentences provided correctly. Are you able to identify that with this sentence I'm going to use much or many? It is very important that you do that. So there, the first task is saying complete these sentences using much or many correctly. Complete these sentences using much or many correctly. There are 6 sentences. Please make sure in those sentences you are able to identify where you will put much and where you will put many. Okay. So we continue. I had briefly explained to you what we are going to do with task 1. Now task 2, still under our topic, food, the digestive system. We talk about the digestive system. People know stomach, mouth, rectum, and the rest. So there we have the digestive system. That diagram vividly shows whatever there is that involves the digestive system. We have the salivary glands, the tongue, epiglottis, esophagus, the liver, stomach, pancreas, gallbladder, duodenum, all those things. Like, you remember how you did them in science. I don't know if you remember that. Then we have the pancreas. Hope people know the different uses of these parts. Please, as you're seeing them there, take time to also find out the different uses of those parts of the digestive system. We have the colon, rectum, anus, appendix, small intestine, and all that, like you can see. You're wondering, oh my God, English digestive system. Yes, we are there. Let us continue. Okay, so we've seen our diagram. And here we are saying, do you remember what you learnt about the digestive system? Using the illustration above, discuss with your partner. Your partner could be your brother, your father, your mother, a neighbor, a friend, as long as you are probably same age group, and as far as class content is concerned, one could be higher than the other. But of course, they must be having understanding, since we are not in school. Well, if you can also do it on your own, good for you. So here we are saying, using the illustration above, discuss with your partner the different parts of the digestive system and what happens to the food we eat at each stage. Using the illustration above, discuss with your partner the different parts of the digestive system and what happens to the food we eat at each stage. The food now that you're going to discuss orally, briefly, to see what normally happens. So there we have a simple passage that we are going to look at. We have a simple passage that we are going to look at, okay, to see what normally happens. What normally happens as far as the digestive system is concerned. So here we are saying, there goes another sambusa. Have a sambusa. You bite into it. You chew it. The saliva in your mouth mixes with it, and it is turned into a mushy pulp. Suddenly, it is no longer a sambusa. The process of digestion has already begun. When you swallow it, the sambusa goes into your food pipe called the esophagus, which carries it to your stomach. The stomach is located just below the breastbone. There, the pulp is mixed. It's no longer food now. The pulp is mixed with an acidic liquid we call gastric juice. Like we said, it's no longer food now, it is pulp. You've mixed it up with saliva. It goes into your system, and there it is no longer food, now it is pulp. There the pulp is mixed with an acidic liquid we call gastric juice, which helps to break it down even further. The food pulp is turned around in your stomach from 2 to 6 hours before it passes into the small intestine. Before it passes into the small intestine. This intestine may be small, but it is certainly not short. About 7 meters long, almost 4 times as long as the tallest person in the class. Wow! The small intestine is folded and packed to fit in quite a small space in your body. It is here that the most important part of the digestive process takes place. This is the breaking down of the food pulp into a form that can be absorbed through the wall of the intestine into your bloodstream, which carries it to other parts of your body. Now we are explaining the digestive process. Okay, so there we are continuing, and we are saying the parts of the food which your body cannot use are passed from the small intestine to the large intestines, where some water is removed and absorbed into the bloodstream. What is left of the original sambusa is pushed along to the narrow end of the large intestine, the rectum, and out of your body through your anus or through the anus. There we have our passage. Okay, so we've been explaining the digestive process from the time you eat, say, a sambusa, to the time it comes out of your system. I'm so sure that where you eat it is not what comes out when you go to the toilet. So that whole process being mixed with the gastric juice, getting into the different areas so that nutrients can be received in your body. Then what is left and is not important is passed out. Okay, so there we've started off with our task. Please give the passage a second reading so that you understand it better. Okay, so using the passage above, find other words for the following. Okay, we have the esophagus, gastric juice, the most important part of the digestive process, the rectum. Then we are also saying number 2, copy the table below. Summarize the digestive process described in the passage by choosing the information from lists A and B and putting it in the table. So the lists are there with the different words. List A has stomach, 2 large intestine, rectum, anus, 3 mouth, 4 small intestine. The statement is saying copy the table below. Summarize the digestive process described in the passage by choosing the information from lists A and B and putting it in the table. List A has stomach, large intestine, rectum, anus, mouth, small intestine. List B has broken down, absorbed into the bloodstream, chewed to pulp, mixed with saliva, mixed with gastric juice, water extracted, remains pushed out of the system. Take note of list A and also pay close attention to list B. That is number 3. What is this text about? So the summary of the digestive process using the lists in number 2, you're going to put the part of the digestive system and what happens to the food because of that part. Okay, so in this table you're majorly going to say, for example, if it is the mouth, okay, what happens as far as list B is concerned. If it is the anus, what happens as far as list B? So we are looking at part A, the different parts, and part B, their role, okay, or what happens in those parts. So majorly that is task 2. Please attempt that work. I will be very happy when you attempt it thoroughly well. I hope I'm very clear. For this table, you're going to look at number 2. What is in list A, you put down. Because of, say, a mouth, what happens in the mouth? For example, mouth, food is chewed to pulp and mixed with the saliva. What about the other parts? What happens? Okay, that is what you're supposed to do. Please do that. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure interacting. Have a blessed day. God bless you.